Right now, an algorithm knows your name.
It knows what you bought last Tuesday and how long you hesitated before clicking.
It knows what you read at midnight when no one was watching. And it's already made decisions about you, decisions you can't see and can't appeal. And nobody elected it. We have spent centuries asking the same question. Who holds the power? Kings, presidents, Congress, the people. We built constitutions around this question. We fought wars over it. But while we watched the stages of politics, something else was being built. Quietly, quickly, without a single vote cast. A new kind of ruler.
It does not have a face. It does not take an oath. It does not sleep. It never asked for your trust, yet it decides your life, your money, your freedom, your future.
This is the story of the invisible sovereign. That was the deal. But something fundamental has changed.
But right now, the right hands and the right oversight are what's missing.
Written by a private company, running on a server you will never see. Consider your credit score. Right now, it determines whether 330 million Americans can buy a home or survive an emergency.
No senator approved this system. No court designed it. No citizen voted for it.
One private algorithm holds more power over your financial life than almost any elected official. Or consider your news feed. In 2021, their own researchers found the algorithm amplified outrage because anger keeps people scrolling.
They knew it, they documented it, and leadership overruled every safety change.
Optimized not for truth, not for civic health, but for time on screen.
And then there is Compass.
Judges are handed a printed score, a number from a private company, predicting what a person will do.
Real sentences, real years of a person's life.
When Eric Loomis challenged it in Wisconsin, the court ruled against him.
The algorithm was proprietary, a trade secret.
A private company's intellectual property was protected more than his right to understand why he was going to prison.
Now think about what the founders built. 3 branches, checks and balances.
But today, a new architecture is forming alongside it.
And it has no checks, no balances, no oath of office. 3 pillars of data. The first is data collection.
Your location, your purchases, your search history at 2 in the morning. All of it gathered, stored, and used to construct a profile that follows you through every corner of your life. The second is algorithmic inference.
Are you a credit risk? A security threat? A reliable employee? The algorithm decides.
And in most cases, you are never told why.
The third is automated enforcement.
Your loan application is denied. Your post is removed. Your account is flagged. No hearing. No appeal. No human being sitting across from you. The Constitution tells you exactly how power works in America.
It tells you how a law is passed, how a president can be removed, how a citizen gets their day in court.
But nobody wrote a constitution for algorithms.
And that is exactly where the crisis begins. Let me ask you a question that no one in Washington seems willing to answer.
If an algorithm destroys your life, who do you call?
Who do you hold responsible? Whose name goes on the lawsuit?
Whose career ends? Who stands in front of a camera and says, I did this?
Because right now, the honest answer is nobody.
In 2019, an algorithm used by the state of Arkansas cut healthcare hours for thousands of disabled residents.
The system slashed their care hours with no explanation. No human being who made the call.
One woman, Tammy Dobbs, had cerebral palsy. Her care hours were cut nearly in half. When they sued, the state could not explain how the algorithm made its decision.
The formula was complex. The logic was buried. They simply trusted the machine.
A federal court ruled a due process violation because no one could explain why it did what it did.
Think about that for a moment. No one could explain.
This is what experts call the black box problem. And it is not a glitch, not a bug. It is a feature.
The most powerful algorithms decide your credit, your parole, your medical treatment, your job. They're so complex, even the people who built them can't always explain a specific decision. Because American law rests on one principle: accountability.
You have the right to face your accuser, understand the charge, challenge the evidence.
But how do you cross-examine an algorithm?
How do you face an accuser with no face, or appeal a reason it can't explain?
In 2016, ProPublica investigated the Compass algorithm.
Black defendants were falsely flagged nearly twice as often.
The company disputed it. The system kept running.
Nobody was fired. Nobody was charged. Nobody was held responsible. That gap between the machine that decided and the human who signed is where accountability goes to die.
Now here's where I want to connect something. We talked about the death of identity, how globalization erases distinct cultures.
Artificial intelligence is not separate from that story.
It is the final chapter of it.
An algorithm doesn't understand history, culture, or the circumstances of a human life. It sees data points. It sees patterns. It optimizes.
Optimization moves towards sameness, toward the average, until the human becomes noise.
It sees a number. It sees engagement. It sees variables.
Across millions of decisions, the local is flattened. The human is reduced to a profile.
This is not a metaphor. This is the operating logic. Right now.
Every system of power in American history, no matter how flawed, had one thing built into it: a face.
You cannot impeach an algorithm.
You cannot vote out a neural network.
You cannot put a training dataset on trial.
And for the first time in American history, consequential power is beyond the reach of every accountability mechanism the founders built.
That is not a technical problem. That is a crisis of democracy.
So where does this go?
The question is not how we got here. The question is, what happens next?
There are two versions of the future. I want to walk you through both.
The first version is this: governments will control AI.
By 2025, states passed over 480 bills referencing artificial intelligence. California.
But here is what happened. In December 2025, the federal government stepped in, not to strengthen protections, but to dismantle them. An executive order moved to block states from enforcing their own AI laws.
In a race against China for AI supremacy, slowing down was not an option.
So the government did not regulate AI. It regulated the regulators.
And the algorithms kept running.
Which brings us to the second version of the future. AI makes government obsolete. Not through a revolution, not one dramatic moment, but something gradual and hard to stop.
Think about what government does. It decides who gets resource, who is a risk.
Now consider that these functions are already being performed at scale, at speed, by algorithmic systems.
Homeland Security, the IRS, Child Protective Services, immigration courts. These decisions can change or end a person's life faster than any human review. This is not the government controlling AI. This is AI reshaping government. And here is where the black box problem becomes truly dangerous.
In 2023, Los Angeles used an algorithmic system to allocate resources to homeless residents.
People made life-altering decisions, trusting a process they did not understand.
This is not a rogue AI. This is institutional dependency.
Once an agency integrates the tool, and it's faster than humans, removing it becomes almost impossible. The institution becomes dependent. The algorithm becomes infrastructure. And infrastructure, once built, is almost never torn down.
So what's happening in Washington right now? A power struggle.
The honest answer is neither.
It's not humans versus machines. It's groups of humans using machines as weapons.
Deregulation becomes a geopolitical tool, framed as a race against China.
And the people most affected by these decisions have no seat at the table.
The founders were not naive. They had lived under unchecked power.
They built a system so power could be seen, challenged, removed. 230 years later, we have built exactly that entity. It cannot be seen. It cannot be challenged. It cannot be removed.
So what is more important?
They chose speed, more important than transparency, accountability, or due process, so it can beat China.
That is where America stands right now.
Not at the beginning of this story. Already deep inside it.
Right now, the architects are a very small group of people. They are not elected.
The rest of us are being asked to trust the machine.
I want to be honest with you. I don't think the answer is to tear it all down.
In the right hands, with the right oversight, these systems can do real good.
What we need, urgently, is transparency, accountability, the right to challenge.
We are not a democracy with algorithms. We are an algorithm with the memory of a democracy.
The invisible sovereign is already here.
If this made you think differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it.
Right now, in your own life, do you trust an algorithm more than a politician?
Because the conversation that needs to happen is not happening in Washington.
Tell me your answer in the comments.
If this made you think differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it.
Because the conversation that needs to happen is not happening in Washington. It has to start somewhere else.
It might as well start here.